mute. Fake your ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by the way, I mistakenly I mistakenly read the last page. But this is
I did the same. I caught a word because I was
mistakenly-
trying to see how much more I had to go.
Yeah.
And then he was
I
just
saw
like,
the
Father.
word and I was just like, PL, how could you?
Yeah. So there you go.
To that point, because I was
my
like, I
God.
need to talk to someone about this.
Spoiler
Hi, everybody.
alert.
Welcome to the Pack of Wolves Book 5 in the Drowned Kingdom Saga discussion. And I will let PL introduce himself, because I feel weird introducing when the author is right there.
Oh, you do a better job than I do. I'm PL Stuart. I'm the author of Drowned Kingdom Saga. And thank you so much, Alicia, for hosting this. Thank you so much, Jen the Epic, for being willing to talk about my book. Yeah, we're talking about A Pack of Wolves, Book 5 of the Drowned Kingdom Saga. Can't wait to hear how messed up you think the book is. So I'm sure you all have thoughts, but yeah, that's me.
So
And I guess, Epic, if you want to introduce yourself, or
I'm Epic,
channel
man.
and stuff?
I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because
I know.
telling me there are several things in this book that he did that I have to ask him why. No, brilliant from a writer's perspective, but like from a reader's perspective who has followed these characters and watched them grow, like why? Epic Tale, check out my channel. I'll pass it on to Jen.
Yeah, I'm Jen or JenJen. I used to have a channel, not so much anymore. Kind of got off of it, but yeah, I'm just here because I'm an avid fan.
Everybody will be linked down below. So if you want to follow everybody, everything will be linked down below. This goes without saying, but I will say it. This is book 5, so this will be a spoiler-filled discussion. So if you have not read the books, starting with A Drowned Kingdom, do not continue watching this because it's spoiler-filled. You can save it to your save later and go from there.
Yeah, what you should do is immediately go to Amazon and go buy the book.
Yes.
Can you buy it from somewhere other than Amazon, just for those that don't like Amazon?
Yeah, you can buy it from anywhere you get your books on the Earm Network, Barnes and Nobles, Friesen Press, my indie publisher. If you want author signed copies, then email me on the website and I can send those to you. You know, we do a PayPal thing or whatever. So yeah, there's lots of places you can get it. So
got it. But proceed immediately to your nearest retailer and buy Drowned Kingdom.
And they're also available on Black Holes, apparently.
Yes, they are.
My friend that lives in England sent me a screenshot. She was like, "Don't you know him?" I'm like, "Yeah." Buy the book, trust me.
Yeah, and there are special editions for the first 2 books with the wonderful broken binding in the UK.
I want them so bad. So bad. Anyway, so okay, I have a question for you. I have multiple questions for you, but this book specifically seems like you're kind of playing a game of chess. And this is the book where you're moving things around. And I thought that this was going to be not a conclusion book, because I know there's going to be 2 more, but you answered a lot more questions than I was expecting you to answer. I was expecting more answers in like 6 and 7.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of answers to come, trust me. But I think what you saw in this book is that you had Othrin, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's not going to kill Othrin in book 5. There's no way." But I still wanted to, like I said, Othrin is not safe. There's no guarantees he makes it through all 7 books. But I hope I created that somewhat of tension that, hey, maybe he's really not going to make it this time. And, and because he was in that moment, because he felt he had to make up with the people he'd wronged and atone for sins, I think maybe there's this feeling that, okay, well, maybe he's not going to make it. And with that, you were getting all these answers and all these things being revealed. So I thought revealing some of the things now only hopefully added to their potential tension. Like, is Biel going to kill Othrin off? Like, is he going to die? So yeah, I think that's, but beyond that though, Alicia, seriously, that's a marvelous question. It was time. It's that time of the series as we near the end to really start pulling back the curtain on certain things. So
It was very political, intrigue heavy.
yeah, and reveal heavy,
Yes.
because there were some big reveals that, I had people texting me a lot, the ones they're reading, saying, I can't believe this, especially when they got to around near past the midway point in the book, and then Othrin went on a mission, and he met some interesting people, and yeah, it was, and even prior to that, when Earthel met the same interesting person that author meets later. So yeah, but overall, yeah, it's time. It's time to really pick up with, pulling the curtain back and letting you really see what's going on, where I've kind of pulled the wool over a bit, especially going up into book 3, but then book 4, you saw some reveals, and now they're coming more and more.
It's crazy. Okay.
I want to go back and read so many of them because I feel like I'd pick up so much more.
Oh, no.
Maybe the next time I'll start back at the very beginning. I'll one a month and just
We need
go
to
up
reread
it.
once all the audiobooks are out.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. I'd be so excited.
I'm definitely going to do that. When the audiobooks are out, I'm going to reread everything.
The audiobooks are fantastic. So even though we only have one out, the audiobook is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope that you saw one thing that a lot of people were saying. I don't know how you all felt. We're saying that this was the most sympathetic that people felt towards Othrin since the series started.
Him.
So for one thing, I love what you did. You used the device that, like, made it seem like Othrin was going through, like, his final chapter.
Yeah.
And you also did something within the first part. You used Othrin the younger, and like you gave his POV, and within that first part, I fell in love with him like a character.
Yeah.
I felt so connected to him when he decided to choose duty over love and everything. And just that scene in and of itself, I was like, wow, like, this is someone that is, carrying on his father's legacy, understands all the sacrifices. And I feel like that's what every father will wish for their son, to understand the sacrifices they made for them. And he chose duty, and he was like, okay, from this perspective, I'm going to legalize, like, gay marriage and just all these things. And I was just like, this is somebody to carry on. Then Othrin the older was like thinking, oh, like, I can sense death, and it was such a brilliant thing. And I fell in love with Othrin the younger in that period.
Yes.
It strengthened the mask you were putting, what would you call it? The
wool?
I'll call it
The wool over our eyes.
the heartbreak you were planning. So it was a very good, very, very good thing. And at the end of the day, right, in the sense of, like, the story, it didn't matter because he ended up dying, but, like, because of what you did in the first part, like, you really, really made that death feel.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to deliver that gut punch. So thank you. I think I'm already felt that way. But I think the biggest thing that Othrin the Younger was showed a different side of his father that I think the reader perhaps wasn't able to see through just Othrin's perspective. You saw Othrin the Elder from the Younger's perspective, and you saw that they were really close, but their relationship was complicated. But still, they were honest with each other in a lot of things. Othrin the Younger was straight up with how he didn't like the fact his father separated him from Ethan. He was straight up about the fact his father kind of like, hey, yo, you caused this issue with Luncheon. You caused this political, this political disaster. You turned Senti against Bartho, and now you're mad because, they're gonna have a bunch of, like, Othrin the Younger was a man of integrity, immense integrity. And he was someone who, I think, by holding him and Othrin the Elder up side by side, you can clearly see that for all Othrin the Elder's strength, Othrin the Younger would have been a much better king. But he never gets the chance, right? So
I love that line from the fathers. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just say I love that line from the father's perspective where he's like, I can't believe that the kingdom's second king would be better than the first. And I was just like, yeah, because I'm rooting for this guy. Unfortunately, some clever, wordplay really stabs you in the heart.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about like Ackland becoming like the next one because um yeah, he's a little bit hot-headed, and he doesn't. It's not from his. I don't really care too much about like the religion of the single God and everything, but he doesn't seem to care either, and
Oh,
that in and of itself is like it's an issue, could end up being an issue for authoring. And like I love what you did in and back to what you were saying, I love what you did with authoring. Like, you gave us another perspective towards his character because throughout the book so far, we've been seeing him through his own eyes, his own thoughts, and everything. But, now seeing it from like his son's perspective, you just empathize with him as a father and someone who, like, you really like, because we know authoring so much that even though we're not seeing it through his perspective, I could almost tell what he was thinking,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
what he was thinking, as opposed to what his son was thinking. Even though we're seeing it from his perspective, some of the things the son probably didn't get right, and some of the things he got right. But this was his son watching his father, and I feel like that was done very, very brilliantly.
Well, thank you. And you got to see Othran the younger, take charge and show that he would have been a great king. You saw him interact with his brothers, and it's funny you mentioned Arkland, and I'll talk about Arkland and Adelaide the early as well. You saw that they're both very different from him, and both of them have strengths, but also some problematic things that Whereas Arkland is very much cleaving to the six elementals, Adelan is more like the old guard style.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those are both problematic in the new East Realm, where often has done somewhat of a good job to push things forward and make a more integrated society, and the younger would have only taken that to the next level. But often still trying to appease the old guard. I was trying to appease the old guard. I mean, hell, he sacrificed his son's happiness for that, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing you saw, I think, with Othran the younger was that he's brave. He had all the qualities, but he also was willing to learn and wanted to be better. He consciously, like Othran the elder, frankly, I one of my favorite scenes to write was the scene with Hurt when they're at the banquet, and then afterwards when Hurt drapes Othran up, right? And Othran the younger was so open to being coached and guided and being mentored, but yet still willing to stand firm on his own. You saw how he flexed when in his temple when they made the images of the six, and the new essentially bishop comes in and rearing his right to rail up and wants people punished, and you saw his brother's perspective, and after that was like, nope, this is how we're going to go. So he was great, man. He's a great warrior, a great leader, but alas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out how much you let the women shine in this book.
Yeah.
Because it was Othran is not very subtle on what he's doing. And specifically his wife knows exactly what she's doing, and she's played the meek and mild wife card, and now she was like, no, I'm gonna throw everything to the wolves, pun intended, and just I know everything because she can see things. Like, she knows a lot more than he does, and I think this book made him realize that she's not someone to play with, even though she's more quiet than the others.
That's an excellent point. It showed how indispensable she really is. Like, she stuck through Othran through all of his infidelities, all of his nonsense, abandoning her
no.
Yeah, leaving her behind in war when he supposedly needed a mage. That's part of the whole reason he married her. Like, she really, really stepped up and said, I'm not getting left on the sidelines. If I'm going to stick with you, I'm your wife, I'm all in. So we have to be all in together. And I'm your rock, right? No one else is going to support you like I can. No one else is going to take care of you like I can. And you see through all of Othrin's biggest trials, Sada was right there, man. She stuck with him, especially the big trial when Othrin faces down a god.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
and also comforts him when he has to when all these things get revealed, when he finds out that why his supposed father hated him, right?
Mhm.
Because his father saw the angel doing it with his mother and conceived it. Like
I was
yes.
expecting something crazy, but I was not expecting that. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, and Urthel knew all along, and that's why he hated Othrin too.
Yeah.
And so now you're seeing like what went behind all that animosity. It wasn't just out of nowhere, right? And you can imagine what the angel has done. Now you're seeing, because you know that basically Yedwa was spawned from him. You find out that Glathen's father was spawned from him. You find out the angels basically seeded all this chaos by disguising and lying with all these women in the royal family of Atlantis and bringing all these royal bastards and causing all this pure chaos. And you found the angel's evil. He's evil.
Yeah.
So
And I also really liked that you gave a reason to why all the women find him attractive, and it like bruised his ego just a little bit because his ego was a lot. I was like, yes, thank you. You need to like go down, like take a few steps down, sir.
Yeah, he's still like Brad Pitt, but that's not the reason
Yeah.
why all these powerful women find him attractive. It's because he is essentially the offspring of a demigod. So
it's like, Jen mentioned how, like, Alicia mentioned how, you did such a good job in like making the women shine. But like, I even feel something that for me was even more, something that is so impressive, like since like the Drowned Kingdom coming, is the variety of women like that you've created. A lot of the times I feel like in recent fantasy writing and writing in general, a lot of authors make this myopic idea of a boss woman who comes and like, just like, and that is the thing. And it's more like, okay, they are trying to emphasize this idea of like the woman who is better than the man and who is, but like with these women, they have flaws, they have strengths, they are powerful. Like they are so nuanced that, I don't feel any irritation, because when I read female characters that are like that are just basically men, like I'm gonna say men with tits, but like when I read that, it pisses me off so much, because it's like women are a lot more flavorful than that. They are more like, they have all much like nuances and everything. And something I'm very curious about, like to segue into something else entirely, is that like I'm curious. I have a prediction to who the destroyer is, who the person that would save the world is, and who the person that might act as a balancing, that might act as the person to balance. I wonder if like Alicia and Jen have that, have a prediction as well.
I think Hirus is gonna go like ape shit.
Hirus, okay.
Hirus
So
is not, like, I mean this in a good way, but she's like batshit crazy and she doesn't care.
There were some awesome points by all of you, epic points. So let's break down a few things. So talk about the powerful women in this series. So you had Rupa, Urthel or Latri's wife, who is badass and totally intent on taking over everything, killing Othrin, taking over everything. Ruthless has a secret plan going to invade Eastrom on the side, meanwhile. And like she's this badass, but she's also flawed because she just can't see the forest for the tree. She's so hell bent on this conquest that she's got blinders. She's got blinders on for her friend Yima, and that's a big exposure because she allows Yima to, when they catch Hirus, to just turn her over to Yima, and Yima's obsessed with Hirus, and that causes Yima's downfall. Yes. You have people more in the background, like the Viwas and the Monases, who are more in the background, but it's still very much a voice and still very much, articulating, what they think should be done. You have characters like Nina, who's a queen, badass older queen that puts Bartho in his place at the war conference. You have And then you have Sila, as I mentioned, right, who is so intent on making Othrin face and acknowledge the things he's done wrong, but yet still be by his side. All she wanted to do was be by his side. You have Candelovi, Othrin, the younger's wife, who knows he's gay, still loves him, wants to have a marriage with him. She's very religious, she's very devout, but she's determined to be a good queen and a good counselor and advisor for her husband. And she doesn't care as long as she's hopeful that he'll fall in love with her and they'll have children, have a happy marriage. But she knows what the risks are. But still, she's, and she's got a lot going for her because she's still Olgard. She's the Bard's daughter. So she's got a lot of that going for her. There were a lot of female characters in this book that kind of parse. But Kiris, now you see, there's a reason why they call her the she-wolf and the haughty princess. Mm-hmm. Ruthless. This Yima tried to rape her. What did Kiris do? She carved coward in her forehead with a knife. Man. So like these the women are formidable, I think.
Yeah. And like in the prologue, when she was telling Hera, you're going to have to do as I like. Yeah. Usually that feeling is between male and female, but like I felt really scared.
Yeah.
For Hera's there because I was like, what the hell is going to what the hell is going on here? But you did such a good job of making her feel like a threat, like a real threat. Yeah. So, again, like kudos to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Jen, I was wondering specifically what you thought about Othrin's little mission to get back Kiris, and how did you like the slave traders? I thought they were a bunch of interesting characters, the three of them.
Aside from the fact that they were slave traders, I loved them. They were a fun little group, and I was just like, these guys are all together. So I really hope we haven't seen the last of them. I was really nervous towards the end too, when they're like, these people have a bounty on their head, like because of how they portrayed everything. But no, I hope that they've turned a corner and are no longer going to go the route that they were before, because I don't approve of that. But no, they were a fun little bunch. I love them so much.
Yeah, somebody messaged me and said we need a side quest with those guys. You need to write a novella side quest. Those guys just going off and just making fun of each other, cussing, and just up to no good. Had
great banter, back and forth between each other. They seem like a really good. Yeah, if you want to write a novella about them or have a series about them, I'm here.
Now, sorry, go ahead, Jen. No.
So it's a kind of a pivot, but I will say I was surprised that so Lacey, is it Lacey? Lacey, I had it right. So she, I was gunning for her the whole time. I was like, you go girl. This time I was just like, maybe you need to take a step back. She almost got not too much, but she's super powerful, which is cool and great and wonderful. But at the same time, I was just, I don't know. I didn't want her to end up with Earthal. I was just like, I think I like his wife now. She has a little bit of a backbone, and you seem very intense. So very surprised that by the end of it, I kind of flipped my opinion of her, because she came off a little bit different. I don't know how to explain it really, but she was I still like her, and I'm curious to see where she goes, but I also feel like there's rough waters ahead with her.
She's more power hungry now, I think.
Yeah, it's clear that Lacey seems more power hungry now than ever before. Now that she's gotten what she wants, and look how she won. Look what she did to do it. She wiped out an army of 100,000 plus people by that. Buried them. There's in other words, don't screw around with her, right? And she also, but yet, hey, then you have Othrin being Othrin when he basically grabs her slave army and takes it for his own vassal, his own sub kingdom. So but Lacey ties him to her beyond like, because technically he's still the vassal of now Eld and Hurt by the book, but licensed above them. But she goes around them to tie him to her and makes him the warlord of Eldia. So Arthur's got his props, right?
This is the equivalent of like when, because I grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters. This is the equivalent of asking your brother for something, and when they say no, then you go and ask your dad. They give it to him, So one way or the other, she ended up getting what she wanted.
Yeah. And now he's bound to her, and he's at her beck and call, regardless of what else is going on. But yeah, I think maybe the focal point of this book for a lot of people, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, was Udin, their crusty, rude, god, right?
So, I liked him.
What'd you guys think of Udin?
I wasn't expecting it. I guess it surprised me because I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting something to happen. I wasn't expecting there to be as many answers as there were in the book.
Yeah.
I like that it was kind of like a morality check for Othrin. And for him to actually say, no, she likes you for you. It's not because of fancy pantsness of the God part. Kind of going off of that, though, she forgave him a little too quickly, in my view. So I have a feeling that it's going to come back to bite him in the ass later.
But she had she knew for a long time. She knew for a long time. Yeah. So it's at the time when it was everything is coming out, she's already made her peace with it. You know?
She just wanted him to say it, I already know, but you need to admit it.
Yeah. At that point, and something I know for a fact, and I'm not making an excuse for infidelity or something, but compared to in different parts of the world, and I'll say some, even where I'm from, or for instance, infidelity is seen very, very differently. Yeah. It's more respect your woman enough to not put it, and this is not my view on it, by the way, but it's respect your woman enough so that it's not public and she's embarrassed. So it's the moment it's out there and it's everything, it's that's when it becomes a problem, because now we are embarrassing her, but it's just keep it so the idea of her forgiving him so easily is it doesn't, I don't have any conflict with it in terms of how it in terms of, and even in Eltnia, multiple marriages and all of this stuff is seen, and he also drew parallels with when Othrin the Younger brought it up to him, and it was just in Eltnia and in all these kingdoms, a man doing all this stuff is pretty normal, but when it becomes a man doing it to a man, then it's all of a sudden so taboo and everything. So in terms of the culture and of where everything is, Othrin's status as a king and everything, it rings realistic, even if it's not ideal from a morality standpoint.
Yeah, no, those are both excellent points. And of course, 3 years have passed since Othrin got busy with Monis, right?
Yeah.
And even longer since he was with Lycie, and then Undala before that. So Sansa's known for a long time.
Yeah.
When Arthur was down and dirty, right? She's known all along, right? She knew.
I was you need to let him grovel just a little bit longer, just a little bit.
He's done his time.
Well, if Othrin didn't grovel for Odin and didn't saw Night Soul and ran towards him, I don't think she was ever going to. I don't think that was a battle she thought she would.
Othrin doesn't really back down from anything, right? and as much as that is his one of his flaws, we all know that's one of his strengths too. His bravery, his refusal to give in, to back down, and you see, like Sila knew her way around him too. Like she knew he was vulnerable. Arthur and the elders think he's gonna die. And she essentially played with his emotions. She essentially she used that emotion and that belief in that he was going to make it to get him to break down and become a better man, right? Yeah. Arthur the younger did that to his father as well. Hurt did that to him. Hurt basically Hurt was ready to kill him basically and said, you know what? All you have cared about for the most part is your own glory, right? And you had blinders on because of your superiority complex, you Atlanteans, and you let those Atlas children die. And that's on your head, right? And you have to be better than that. And if you had really stuck to your guns and done what you should have done and what you thought was going on, those children wouldn't have died, right? And he also there's that thing with like in terms of Alton's arrogance, Hurt's like, dude, I would have killed you that day when you killed my father on the beach. I would have killed you. You would not have made it, right? And then when you see Hurt fight in the battle, you also realize, yeah,
he would have been dead.
I would have been dead. Hurt is on another level, right?
Another level, yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things in this book, one of the biggest themes, of course, was duty, right? Mm-hmm. You guys raised an excellent point. I know I was talking a lot about Arthur and the Younger's sense of duty. The sense of duty that all these vassals are going on this hopeless battle that they know they're going to die facing this horde of North people, and they know that the odds are totally against them. Arthur brings his sons, his most precious thing to him, his sons. He brings them all, puts them all in harm's way, and he'll always put himself in harm's way, but he's bringing his sons, right? And all these people are doing what they feel needs, but even if they don't like it. People like the Bard, right? He doesn't like Arthur, he respects him, but like when Urthel's like, yeah, I should be the king because Bard's like, fuck you, no way, right? Arthur's our king. He's the one that stuck by us. He's the one that you abandoned. You know what I mean? So people are doing their duty in this book. That's a big theme that I want to emphasize, that they're doing what needs to be done rather than what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
Except for Bartho, of course.
We'll get there. So I do want to go back to like Urthel for a second, because I was expecting it to be like this big, not big battle, but like big scene of them like clashing heads or having a conversation, and it wasn't really. Like, she wears the pants more than he does.
Yeah, so you saw Urthel, and it's a funny thing with Urthel. If you think about Urthel's journey, even from the time he was king of Atlantis, right? For as much as he's powerful and he has all these, he's kind of ineffective in a way. Like, Arthur was always the smarter, the better fighter, the more cunning. Like, Arthur was always that guy who, if you said who should be the king, Urthel had some ideas, but he kind of messed them up. He wants to change Atlantis. Well, he starts a rebellion against himself. He survives the drowning, and then he becomes this big warlord, and he helps getting this Sanavian invasion going. But then it flops, right? Mm-hmm. He can't control Rupa because Rupa is so headstrong. Like, there's so many things that he does that are actually ineffectual, as badass as he is. And at the end of the day, he can't restrain Rupa's worst impulses. And as much as he really should kill Arthur, he should really be listening to Rupa, he can't do it. Because just like Arthur, they love each other. They're really brothers, right?
And that I appreciated, because like, even if you don't agree, you're still family. And there's always that through line of like, even if you hate each other, there's still a line of, but you did love this person.
Yeah, what a complicated relationship. I mean, what a complicated relationship. Because I love how, he had the conversation with Rupa when, how he handled that conversation is exactly how I feel like I would. because he let her talk and like see me, and then at the end he was like, by the way, I know you tried to kill Arthur, and like like I love how he drew everything he wanted to out of her first, and when she thought she was high and mighty and sending him back to the bedroom, he was just like, by the way, I know you did this. I love the way he handled that conversation.
Yeah, and they had a lot of tension in their relationship from day one, because she always figured you can't kill Othrin because you still love him like a brother. She knew that, so she's like, I got to do it. But she went around him sideways and did him dirty with certain things, and he was always the one trying to like hold their daughters down, keep Meg's kind of falling apart, and after Meg lost his wife, he's got this. Then he lost his new lady, and like Urthel's trying to be the grounded one, but Rupa is like the fire, and she's trying. And for all Urthel's strengths, he can't contain it. But when Urthel and Othrin had that confrontation, it wasn't about swords. It was about emotion. It was about, you saw the emotion between the two of them, right? That Othrin blames him, like, listen, man, you knew what I was. But I was just a kid. Like, it wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you held it against me and you hated me, but you're supposed to be protecting me. You're my older brother. You and my father could have loved me. You guys should have nurtured me. Doesn't matter what I was, right? You know what I mean? How could you do that to me, right? And you saw Urthel kind of broke down. You know what I mean? Like, he had to admit, like, yeah. But what kind of is, like, look how complicated the situation was, right? They have such a complicated relationship.
Yeah.
So...
And like the relationship had always been like that, even like from the first chapter of the first book. Like, and it's funny. It's interesting how things even just became more and more and more and more complex. But it's like how they feel about each other hasn't changed, and it's very like identical to like a real world relationship with two brothers who don't get along but love each other.
Yeah, those are excellent points. And I think the one thing that I hope you all saw in this book is that, Othrin has so many faults. Yeah. But the thing is, though, is that he knows that at the end of the day, hey, Mr. OC Reader, how are you? Thanks for coming out. Passing the shows of love. Thank you so much.
Vina's one of the best.
She seems awesome. She's awesome. But Arthur knows at the end of the day that he has a duty. And he can't, as much as he loves Urthel, he can't let him best him. As much as he loves his wife, he can't let her control him to the degree where he doesn't do the things the way he needs to do. As much as he has to bow to Lycie, he still has to get what he needs to, you know what I mean? Arthur is that guy, like at the end of the day, there's a certain amount of pragmatism in what he's doing. Right? But the thing is, though, now he's going to be in a state because he lost his son, right? And we know he doesn't deal with grief well. We saw what happened after Alias died, right? So, like, he's definitely not going to be in a good place.
So who, that's my one question, is who is going to take over? Because I don't know if they're going to listen to Seela because she's a woman. I don't know if, like, are they going to just listen to Thurl or?
Well, I mean, technically, I mean, you know how it is. Arthur Younger is dead. Yeah. The next in line is Arklan. He was giving me first prince, and Adeline the Early is giving me second prince. And the show's supposed to go on, right? That's why you have spare heirs, right? Because if one dies, then the next one's supposed to step up.
But I also think that there's favoritism because Othrin was the child with his first wife.
Oh, definitely.
There's been definite favoritism.
Yeah, and I wonder how the old guard will react because they were insistent that the crown prince would be of pure Atlantean blood.
Bingo.
Like, yeah. That is going to be it's like how is it going to affect how they react to it, because we've seen in the previous books that they hold a lot of sway and power, like politically. So it's like interesting to see how that moves forward.
That's the point. Arthur the Younger was a pure Atlantean blood on both sides, but the old guard technically look at Arklan and Adelaide the Early as half-breeds because they're part Eldish. So although that may win some points with the Eldish, the Old Guard, as Epic pointed out so saliently, they hold a lot of power, they still hold a lot of sway in Arthur's kingdom, and they're not going to be pleased, especially with the fact that Arkland, as we saw from that scene of the temple, he's not outright like worshiping the Sixth, but that's where his heart lies. Right? And that for sure you can imagine is probably going to cause issues, right? Yeah. Probably going to cause issues. So
it's almost like a mirroring of like the first book where Ethel was more like leaning towards like the Six and all of that stuff, and like
more accepting.
Othrin was more like single god and like so it's like let's see how history plays out again, like in
history repeats itself.
Yeah, and I write circular plots. I write things. Everything kind of goes back. What goes around comes back in a circle. And I think when you finish the series, you'll look back and go, "Oh man, that's just like that. Oh, that's just like that. That's just like." You say, you'll feel. I think you'll feel the fact that I hide a lot of things in plain sight. And I think hopefully when you get to book 7 and you finish the last page, you'll be like, I can't believe I didn't see that all along, right? But you guys have guessed a lot of stuff, though. You guys have definitely, kudos to you all. You guessed so many things, predicted so many things that happened from previous books in each book. So, kudos to you, man. You guys are amazing.
Again, like I think so. Let me just say it. I think Lucifer is going to be the destroyer.
Yes,
because I see hints of you've kind of like done like taking some themes or inspiration from the Luciferian story about like the god who had servants who like turned away and like wanted to do their own thing and everything, and Lucifer and Lucifer sound similar. Whereas like, okay, that is like, and there are places in the Bible where Lucifer is referred to as the dragon. So I'm like, okay, that's the thing. What I'm not sure, I think the person who will bring balance will be Atlan the Early, because he has a keen like sense of observation. And I think the one that will potentially bring good would be Unexpected. And I think that might be, it might be his daughter with Undala.
Okay, Aquiba, yeah.
Aquiba, yeah. That's what I think, because like, I don't know. That is my prediction.
I still think her son, her youngest son, who stayed with Othrin's court before he married who he married, is going to play a big part as well.
Ingersa, yeah. Now that he's a king in the south.
Because isn't the little girl like only like 5 or 6 or something?
So no, not by now. She's much older, right?
Oh, okay.
So
I thought she was younger.
Yeah, she's much older. So yeah, Ingersa, you'll see Ingersa definitely in the next book. But I'm curious. So I don't believe any of you have read the short story or maybe you have, Epic, in Shapers of Worlds. Volume 5, the short story.
No,
I think I've sent it. I have to make sure I sent to you. So
I need the short story.
I have to make sure I send you the arc, because that will give you some interesting insights. It's set centuries before the events of Drowned Kingdom, but I think it's a good idea to read that short story before you read book 6, because it might give you some interesting insights and some nice some really nice Easter eggs for book 6.
Ooh.
So I'm going to make sure I send that all to you. It's called Forest Dark, and it's fantasy horror essentially.
Yay! That's been my jam lately.
So I will send it in the link. I'll send it the same email that Alicia sent. I'll send it there. It's not long, but I can't wait to hear what you think about that when I send it.
I'm so excited now.
Hope you find it interesting.
I'm really sad that I have to wait so long for book 6. I want to read book 6 like yesterday.
But like, yeah, but like, I don't know. PL is done an incredible job. Like every
Yeah.
year, book. Like,
Fantastic.
holy, like that's yeah, wow, that's incredible. That's
They
incredible.
just get better and better for sure.
For
Well,
I
sure,
think
for sure, this is my favorite book.
List your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
me too.
It's neat. It's like
Yeah.
it's so like your writing has improved so much. Like and
Yeah.
initially I had to get used to like so much exposition, but like it's like sometimes when I'm reading it, it's like I'm reading like a history book where you're
Mhm.
talking like it's before it didn't have that feel, right? Before it felt more like you were trying to explain things. Now it just reads more like a history book
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with your exposition, and then of course I love the dialogue as well and everything. So like I feel like this is by far your best work, and like the writing and the everything. So, and what a journey, man! What a journey
Yeah.
like Brent has been through.
I'm gonna be sad when it's over because it's just like I know I can expect it every year, and we only have 2 more books.
Yeah.
Well, then
Well,
we have like the ones
Three.
afterwards. Remember, way back when we have a plan, Alicia. We have a plan to go further into the distance.
yeah, definitely. And you're gonna. I hope you like the prequel trilogies. They're gonna show you so much about again what's really going on and how so much of what author believed happened, it absolutely did not happen that way. It's so different from what he envisioned or what he thought. But I think I want to touch about 2 things. I know we're getting close to the hour mark, and that's around how long we're planning to go. But Bartho. So Bartho.
What a
I mean, in
coward!
some ways, sorry.
Oh
What a coward!
Yeah,
A
yeah, that
power
was
hungry coward.
yeah, but also too maybe a product of how author messed him up. This is a guy who, again, you think back to Lion's Pride when Arthur put him in his place. Arthur knew he was sleeping with his wife. He couldn't really do anything. Well, he could have, but he was too weak to do anything. You know, Arthur is Arthur partly responsible for the mess that is
No.
Bartho.
No,
Yes.
no, no. I don't. I no. He's not. He's not. And I'll tell you why. I don't think he's responsible. I don't think Othron treated him fairly, right? To like right from the start, But it's like everybody had their own circumstances. Like like his circumstances were not special. Like it's like Othrin was also hated by his father.
Yeah.
Shown by his father, like
Yeah.
lost the kingdom, had all that pressure, came to a new land. Bartho like has been sheltered, and yes, he's been sheltered, but like I feel like Othrin, if I feel like Othrin gave him a chance in this battle to prove himself.
Yes. He
Like
did.
He just dug
Othrin
himself a bigger hole.
wasn't treating him like an idiot in this book.
Yeah.
Othrin was like, okay, he's at war right now. Okay, Othrin even kept him in the safest place. He was like, make sure that like protect our backs. That means that we're going to be in front, you're going to be behind. That's like you're in the safest place.
Yeah.
And that was still to like Othrin gave him the chance, gave him that respect. So it's like he had, and look, the Bard has had his moment to like of redemption where he like stood behind Othrin. Like so many characters have had like redemption arcs.
Yeah.
And this was his chance, and he abandoned people. I like now he's a coward.
No.
I also think part of it is Welly's fault because Welly could have easily fixed this problem when he found out Chinty was his kid. He could have stopped it, and then it would have been fine.
Yeah. But Welly, unfortunately, for as much as Welly was a great king, and Welly's passed away now, he's gone, and we saw Othrin and heard everybody pretty upset about that, and kind of you could see we're going to a new phase where the alliance is changing now. Right, but Welly, for all of his positives, as much a great leader he was, and a war leader and a king in a lot of ways, he messed up a lot of things. Right, he destabilized the kingdom in a lot of ways. Right, he had Senti, he never acknowledged him. He allowed Senti to turn against him initially, and then later on, he acknowledged him, but then didn't legitimize his daughters. He let Bartho make Senti only a prince where he should have been a king of Apithia. Welly kind of, he fostered a lot of those issues. And yes, Senti was always the better. El never really wanted to be king, but El would be a good king, and he is,
He's responsible.
He's responsible. But Senti would have been the one. Senti's more like an author. He's got that charisma. He's got that, that it factor. He would have been a king but unfortunately, that got messed up too, right? So yeah, Welly is responsible. I totally agree, Epic and Alicia. Like I totally agree. Jen, what do you think about Barthos?
Honestly, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, no, it's totally. But then after hearing Epic, I go, oh dang, change my point of view. Like that's so true. He came into it with his own stuff. Like he was given every opportunity. So now I'm just like, okay, I see things differently now. Yeah. So I hate to keep backing off of it, but it's just like you explained it so well, and I was just like, I really just didn't put those pieces together. Now that you have, and then with what Alicia said, I go, okay, understandable. No, I already knew he was a coward, but I was just like, oh, that's kind of a little bit of Othrin's fault. But no, I don't see it that quite that way anymore.
It's like even during the war, like in Othrin was thinking, oh, like Battle was right, like look, like this thing that he feared would happen happened. Yeah. So Othrin was, like, and it's not like Othrin's opinion is the end all and be all, but like this was his chance to like prove himself. When he finally has that blood battle with like Senti, like he's not going to have any supporters. Like he's not going to have any like because he ran, and that would be but in one of the greatest wars in Elfnia, like history will always remember him as the one that ran. So it's like
he messed it up. He could have made something out of himself. If he died bravely in battle, he still could have salvaged his reputation. Or if he fought nobly and they won, he definitely would have salvaged. He would have been the king. He would have, and maybe Senti wouldn't have fought him. Maybe Senti would go, you know what? You proved yourself. Or maybe El would have convinced Senti not to fight him, withdraw his challenge. Like so many things can happen, but no, he messed it up. But there's a sad thing about Bartho is that he had made some good points, and like Epic said, Othrin was giving him that chance, that opportunity to be a man, and he flopped. So I want to quickly ask: did you? Because there's some things that still need to resolve before the end of some books. At the end of the battle, when it appeared that Night Soul was on the scene, what went into your minds when? They're losing the battle, and Othrin's watching everything fall apart. He can't do anything. The mages haven't done any magic. Like he's like, okay, I guess this is it. He's just praying that somehow his son can live and blah blah. And then, boom, he sees who he thinks are Nightsoul and Barbas. And to his credit, our Othrin, he's going down fighting. So what does he do? He freaking charges. He charges. He charges the battle. What did you guys think as you saw as this scene unfolded? What was in your heads?
On the other side of the coin is they're the only two that scare him, or that intimidate him. So I was ready for that part.
I was thinking they were on his side just because how his wife tried to go after him and be like, hey, wait, stop. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, dang, because there's that conversation, bad with names, with the God character where he's like, when you're close to death and you like need to pray to someone, think about all the gods. And I was like, is this like some kind of, I wouldn't say foreshadowing, but is this kind of coming back to that where it's just like, okay, what you once thought, you need to like flip your point of view on.
That's okay.
So I was just like, oh, the wife's trying to stop him because she knows like, hey, this person's gonna help you, not kill you. Like, don't end them. So my initial thought was just like, please don't kill him because he's not going to bow to you, but also he probably is not smart enough to stop trying to kill you because of everything that he knows.
That's an amazing insight. Like that Night Soul could be showing up to save the day. That's awesome, man.
I never even thought of that, but then you would have something to hold over them.
Yeah, at that point during the war, I was looking around like for salvation. So I was looking for like, like how are they going to get out of this one? So when I saw Night Soul, I kind of suspected, but like that, okay, he came here and like he'll be like the kind of like your enemy of my enemy is my
Yeah.
friend type
Yeah.
of situation. And he was like, you know what, after this we're going to deal with it. So even after this person was telling him to calm down, I thought maybe that was what the situation was going to be. And especially when I saw Ingressa there as well,
Yeah.
because when Othrin was leaving Israel, he was like, he left Ingressa there specifically for the threat of
Yeah.
Night.
Yeah.
One thing it's done in general, it's made me excited for when they finally show down. Like for as
Yes.
much as Othrin is scared, I know he's going to take it head on, and it's going to be exciting. And it's like, I was expecting like there's going to I don't know the role, because it's like, okay, every time Othrin, and it's just a small observation of it, every time Othrin grabs short steel, then it's like something happens, and then you use another blade. But like I feel like there's something that's going to be like short steel is going to have his moment. Othrin is going to have a moment for short steel. That is like, it's going to be like, okay, that was epic type of situation. So I'm looking forward.
Okay. Those are great. Those are great.
I got very like King Arthur vibes in this book specifically. Is that a
King Arthurian Legend is a huge influence on my writing.
okay?
A huge influence.
I was like, this is totally King Arthur, like Sword in the Stone type stuff.
You had some vibes.
I got some like maybe it's because I've been reading a lot of Highlander romances, and the fact that, don't mean to be like a creepy stalker, PL, I knew you went to Scotland, and if you had gone last year, I would have been like, how much did that influence this? But then I'm also thinking like, oh, maybe did you take that trip because of research that you did? I just got like a lot of Highland war vibes out of it. So
Excellent observation. I can tell you right now that I always envisioned Carthlugi, what it would look like in my head. But it's when I went to Scotland and saw the Highlands and saw that became Carthlugi. So if you go back and ever read the description I wrote of when Othrin finally goes to Carthlugi, that is, that's Scotland, man, right? It's
awesome.
that rugged, big hills, like it's that harsh environment. The people are like stoic, but it was bingo. That's amazing, Jen. Yeah, it really inspired me when I was writing the description of what Carthage looked like at the howling hills and kind of bleak and that's amazing. So
then we need to plan a group trip to Scotland. Okay,
done.
Scotland is beautiful. It is so amazing. I can't recommend it highly enough. But and I know we're winding down, but I do want to ask you before we get to maybe predictions for book 6. I do want to ask you, what did you think? Because we talked about Lacey a bit, but Lacey, it's funny how you only see her at the end of the book. She's talked about throughout the book and what she could do, side she could be on, or whatever. So now that Lacey has got basically what she wanted from book 1, Lacey told Othrin, "I'm going to be the High Queen. I'm taking everything." She got that backed by Andala of all things. So it would seem that she secured what she wants to secure, and she secured in a way that it'll be hard to take her on. Who or what do you think, if anything, could be an obstacle for Lacey? Now she's got it.
Definitely Othrin. Definitely Othrin. But like, it's like I feel like her desire for Othrin is going to be her downfall. And I also feel like be careful what you ask for, because when she gets all that authority, the responsibility, that the duty that comes with it might, like, if anyone can handle it, I'll say Lacey can, but I feel like it's not. I don't think I feel like circumstances will make it very difficult for her, and she's going to have to. Maybe she wouldn't want it after she has it,
Okay, just your observation. That's excellent. What do you think, Alicia?
I think it's not going to be her specifically. Well, I have 2 answers because they're connected. I think her downfall is going to be her son.
Ooh.
Because it is the product of her love for Othrin and her, and she is very egotistical. But I also think she has a dark horse behind Othrin in the fact that he's married to her sister, and she always thinks of her as the meek and mild one that won't do anything. And she, in this book specifically, she's had more of a backbone than, or has been shown to have more of a backbone than people give her credit for.
Yeah, because she's like very loyal to Othrin, so it's like how would she like protect Othrin from?
Yeah.
And of course, I just know Lacey is going to make another attempt to get with Othrin, and her response to that might be like very, very interesting. Yeah.
And then there'll be a mage off over him because that's gonna be so much fun.
Oh wow.
You should have gone before Alicia. She stole my answer.
all the mages might as well just fight,
Yeah.
That's my other. It kind of goes into predictions, but I feel like because the gods are petty, you've shown that the gods are petty. Like this is going to be a fight of the gods. This is like they're just being Othrin and all that they're just chess pieces.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a god fight at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Jen, about Lacey?
I mean, Alicia kind of stole my answer. And like the more you kept going, I was just like, are we literally the same brain? Because you were everything. Because when Evan was talking, I was just like, I do think that Earthal is going to end up being like a part of it, but I really think it's going to be the sister because she's underestimated. And then also, you've always mentioned that the series like is really about the women. So I was just like, wouldn't it be the ultimate showdown for the two sisters to go after each other? And this one sister that looks very meek and she's like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Like, there's probably a reason she wanted her dead. And I bet you it's because she had an inkling that she was going to end up being her downfall. So I really think that it's probably going to come down to the two sisters battle off.
Wow. And something else is like, I'm wondering two things. The first one is, would Othrin like legitimize his, not legitimize, but would he acknowledge being the father to like Lucifer and like his other kids? One, and it's like, how do his other kids, particularly Lucifer, feel about it?
Those are all excellent points. Because remember, just to quickly set the context before we go to predictions, he's lost one kid, but he had six. He had Arthur the Younger with Alias. He had Arklan and Adlan the Early with Sila. Yeah, Lucifer with Lacey, Zia with Monis, and Aquiba with Andala. So he's only acknowledged his legitimate kids, Arklan and Adlan the Early. The rest are not acknowledged by him, and everybody knows it's the worst kept secret in Kremia, but that he's their dad. So what happens now? Basically, I mean, Senti has been banished to Pythia, and Monis has gone with him. She's admitted that she cheated on Bartho, but won't say who the father is, but everybody knows. But she's doing it to protect Othrin and her child. And Aquiba's over in Anivia, but growing up into growing up into a princess. And Lucifer is now the high prince, the heir to all of Eldia, and would technically be Othrin's overlord. So if Lacey died, it's kind of messed up. But yeah.
Sorry, pause. Did you say when Lacey dies?
I said if Lacey dies. Well, when Lacey dies. Let's say when, because just like when Othrin the Younger dies. In other words, that is that's the inheritance. When Othrin the Younger dies, Arklan's supposed to take over. When Lacey dies, Lystra's supposed to take over. So.
Okay, you've already broken my heart, so
I know how much further could you do.
And that's okay.
Well, I know, and Epic, you were under the weather. I know you're such a trooper. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know you weren't feeling well, but it just means a lot to me that you'd even show up and just come. And of course, for Alicia and Jen, like you guys are just all amazing. Alicia for hosting. I know we have to wind up and we don't want to keep Epic, but I do, if you don't mind, I would love to hear your number one prediction for book 6, if you don't mind. I'd love to hear it.
Alicia and Jen go first.
Okay.
Mine's
I think that there's going to be a 7th kid.
Ooh.
Seventh kid,
Seventh
where?
kid. Ooh. Who?
Because they did the deed before she found out that they were going to die. He was going to die when they
Oh.
made up and all that stuff. So every time he seems to have sex, he has a child.
Oh yeah. I mean, they had that sex for a long time, for years,
Right.
and
Think
just
that's
yeah. So I mean, hey, that's a great prediction.
Could happen.
That's a great prediction.
I just feel like with all the kids, and we were talking earlier, and I wanted to interrupt, but I was like, I'll just figure out a way to get it in later. So, there was a discussion where Urthel the younger was just like, oh yeah, like I don't think I could ever fight my brother to kill them in a thing, but now you have two people that could potentially be rulers. So you have, I'm again terrible with names, but Urthel's two alive children that are
Othrin's kids. So he's got 2 with Sila. He's got Lucifer.
the two with Sila.
Okay, yeah.
Those two specifically.
Yeah.
That there's going to be a battle or some sort between them for whoever can take over. And honestly, it could go with all the kids at one point, because I don't remember who said it, if it was Alicia or Epic, where like how are they going to react for the dad not claiming them? Like, I feel like battles are going to happen with the kids, and he's already lost one kid. I have a feeling he's going to come a few pegs, because people are going to have like the battles with each other. That could even lead into a little bit of 7, but I definitely think there's a lot more death on the horizon with his children specifically.
Wow. Okay. All right. Those are some great predictions.
Got dark.
Ladies.
And if I would second Jen's prediction, if I can see that Pierre is making me like any one of the other kids, and I'm like,
they're gonna die.
So that's your prediction, Epic, that Othrin's gonna need some more kids?
My prediction. I'm just
Oh, you're endorsing
in Jen's prediction. But like my prediction is I believe Urthel and Othrin will find common ground, and it's very important in the battle with Nightsoul. I know that's a little bit out of left field, but I feel like
I like it though.
I feel like from that conversation they had, like the moments where they were vulnerable with each other, I do not believe things are going to be left hanging there. I believe that there's one thing we know about Pierre's writing. He goes deeper. Like if he creates something there, he goes deeper, especially when he has like emotional charge. So I believe that like they're going to come to some kind of common ground, and they're going to reconcile in a sense.
Okay, well that's I mean quickly, we left Urthel. He and Rupa and their daughters are guests of Lyci, right? Now that their army's been defeated, and but they're landless. I mean, they don't have anything to rule over. But you got to wonder how Lyci's going to use them. Like that's one of the first things that everybody's thinking. Like, how's Lyci going to use these guys? I mean, they got the Druids. The Druids there too. That were under Urthel and Rupa. Like, what? How is that all going to play out? So, but like I said, I'm so glad you liked the books. I think we got a little bit of everything in this book. I hope you enjoyed the big battle. I hope it was worth the. We didn't necessarily get into Thurl and his throwdowns there, but I think someone was asking, hey, is Thurl going to be around a bit more in this book? And he definitely was.
No, Thurl is still my favorite character.
Yes.
Yeah?
What's the reason?
My character, yeah. I mean, like, like what a legend, and I love that you gave him his moment there where he and such nuance. Like I love after he saved her, that reduced morale more, because that's like reducing her reputation and everything. And it was like he did it to like raise the morale of his people, which is like really, really cool.
Yeah. Thurl's a badass, and he's that strong side type that he's always there for Othrin. So you have to wonder. And quickly, in this thing, it's like Glatham's back, and Nistrom, Thor was there, but they're all getting old. Like, you saw Othram lose a lot of people in this book around him, right? Like his posse's shrinking. So like you got to wonder who's gonna make it all the way, if anybody, through the end of
Probably
book
someone I
7.
don't like.
So
I
was
guess that
also-
also comes save the day, though, because obviously he's not going to take the death of his son very well. So he's going to go into a tailspin. Are they going to pick up the slack? So
Am I crazy to think that the younger might not be dead? Like, yeah, there was a scream
he's
he
dead.
died.
he's dead.
We haven't seen
He's
his
dead.
body. Like, maybe he
dead.
can be resurrected.
No, he did. He's dead. He's dead.
Nails are
He
in
is
the
dead.
coffin. Got
He
it.
is dead. So we can count on that going forward in book 6. Arthur Younger is dead, and what will be the fallout? You have a lot of issues. Hyrus, I quickly, we didn't talk about the fact that Hyrus, who was part of this, she always wanted to be the queen of both Cards Weekend Luncheon. And now she seems poised because Eldaviva can't have kids. And they're the king queen luncheon, that she would be the next in line to take over both. So, I think Alicia was the one to mention about Hyrus being someone that, she's a wild card. Like,
she's a hothead.
yeah, and she doesn't like Lysy.
No.
And Lysy's going to be her overlord if she's her overlord of card. Now that when Hurt dies, she would take over Carthage, but she's also supposed to take over Luncheon and Card. Do you think that Hyrus is? I don't know if Hyrus.
Hyrus is going to take Lysy out.
I don't know.
Hyrus does not take direction well because she's used to being the boss.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So. But anyways, like I just want to say, I know as we're ending off that you guys are so amazing, you're so insightful, you're so touching. The honor, like I can't even explain the honor of you 3 people being willing to talk about every book in this series with me. Like, it's just so humbling, right? Like I can't thank you enough. I can't tell you what it means, right? So I just hope that you're having a good time, and I just hope that, as much as this was your favorite book, A Pack of Wolves, I hope that A Black Dragon on Red, coming in the spring of 2026, I hope that supplants this.
Is it getting released on our birthday? Can I know that?
I'm not sure, but one thing I will tell you, I will give you one hint about A Black Dragon on Red. It is, in my opinion, it's bonkers. It is at first, for the first, I think, part of the book, you'd be just saying, what is this all about? What's going on? What does this have to do? It doesn't mean you won't be interested, but you're like, where is this going? But as it gets closer to the second and third parts, then you're like, okay, you're gonna understand. But be prepared for a bit of a U-turn in the beginning of the book.
Excited.
So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you like it.
Yeah.
So, but I will definitely send you that short story called The Forest Dark. It is in the Shapers of World anthology. And if you'll just bear with me 1 second, I will grab it. Where is it? Shapers of World.
One of my
Yeah. So this is Shapers of World anthology.
I like
Some amazing authors in there. So don't just read from my story. My story's the middle. You can skip to my story if you want, and then go back and read the others, or just read straight through for all the stories. But there's some incredible authors in there. MJ Kuhn, like some really, really amazing stories. So highly recommended. All kinds, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, tragedy, horror, just a lot.
There's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. So I'm going to send this to you right away as soon as we
Yay!
get off this live. But once again, my force is about in the middle of the book, and it's called Forest Dark.
I'm so excited.
So I live in a different place. I'll send you my address.
Sorry?
I live I live in a different place right now, so I'll send you my address.
Oh, I was going to send you the ARC, electronic. I was going to send you electronic
okay.
ARC.
That's
Yeah,
it.
right. I'll just send it to the email. So, because I only have one copy of this, right? But thank you so much again. And like I said, this is amazing. And like I said, I'm glad you like the book. And I'll let Alicia do her thing and how she's going to end things off. And
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'm sure that we will be discussing book 6 when it comes out, whenever that is. We know it's coming out in 2026, but things might change.
Spring 2026.
It's crazy. I can't believe we're talking spring 2026. But thank you for watching, and if you're not following any of these people on the screen, you should be. Everybody's linked down below. PL's channel, Epic's channel, Jen's Instagram. I think that's the one that you use the most.
Yeah, if I'm sorry.
Everywhere to follow me is also down bottom, and also there's links to all of PL's books and the first discussion that we had. If you haven't watched any of the discussions, the first 45 minutes is spoiler free. But thank you. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Oh, I never know when to